Let's get Facebook. Get that working. I think that's working. All right. Yeah, it's working. All right. Get some countdown here. Let me save shared sound. Get rid of this tab. Beautiful. Let's get a 7-minute countdown. All right, I'll be right back, my brother.
Not standing by, buddy. Hey. Bring me a glass of water. Bring me a bottle of water, please. Bring it in here. When you come back, bring it, give it to me. I'm in this room here. I'm right here, baby. I'm right here.
Were you able to connect your online account, Jamal? Hey, Jamal, has your partner logged in yet?
Yeah, Jamal right there below me.
Okay, all right. I didn't see his video on, so I didn't see him.
Camera picked up.
His camera picked up. Okay, beautiful. Right. We at the top of the hour. We're gonna assume our community is linked in. We're gonna head to get my prepared words ready. Before the boardrooms and before the brands, before the businesses and the breakthrough, there was a dream, a whisper from God, a vision placed inside of you. And through the struggle, the sacrifice, and through the faith and the fire, you refuse to stay small. This is the ones who rose anyway. For the ones who turned closed doors into open highways. For the ones who never given a seat at the table, but they built their own. This is for the entrepreneurs who see beyond the now. For those creatives that transform the unseen into reality. For the leaders, the innovators, the risk takers, the ones that won't wait for permission, go higher. Here we celebrate your aspiration. Here we honor your grind. Here we elevate the vision. Because the road to success was never made to be easy, but neither were we. We are the sons. We are the daughters of resilience, descendants of loyalty, builders of legacy that will outlive our names. This is not just a podcast, this is Level Up. I'm your host, Earl McCray, and in every episode we bring you real game from real voices, from those who have paved the way, to those who are building the way, to those who will never take further than they ever imagined. Because it is not just about getting to the top. It's about bringing others with you. It's about breaking chains. It's about shattering limits. It's about walking in the divine purpose and power. So, if you're ready to step into something greater, if you're ready to go beyond potential into impact, you're ready to stop waiting and start moving. You're welcome home. This is where faith meets action. This is where dreams meet discipline. This is where we level up. All right, let's get it. Let's level up. All right, my guest today, my brother from another mother, I like to say, is Mr. Jamal Lockhart and his business associate, And let me take a minute to just look at my prepared words for my audience so we can make this transition. So, all right, family, you already know what time it is. Today we are talking about partnership, about power moves, and about major plays in the world of real estate. And to break it all down, I've got not one, but two powerhouse entrepreneurs in the house, in the building. So these two brothers didn't just stumble into success, but they built it. I like to say brick by brick, one deal at a time, one calculated risk at a time, one bold move at a time. So they met about 5 years ago in the real estate game. And instead of competing, here's what I love. Instead of competing, they leveled up together, combining their talents, aligning their vision, and providing that when trust, accountability, and strategy comes together, yo, big things happen, y'all. Land deals, that's their niche. Holding each other accountable, that's their edge. Winning at the highest level, that's their standard. So if you wonder how the right partnership can multiply success, if you're looking for a blueprint on trusting the process, leveraging strengths, and playing in the real estate game, you're in the right place. All right, family, it's time to level up. All right, big dogs, bring it to me. What y'all got?
My brother Jamar up there. I'm glad to see you, Earl, as always, man. Thank you for having us on, and we definitely appreciate you. You know, anybody out there watching, please. Relief does it on a big level, more than just Airbnb, more than just the coaching. Earl brings great guests, great information, positivity, and I'm glad that me and Jamar has added to that collective. What's going on up there, my brother? I see you up there, man. Like you working right now, my guy. What's going on, Jamar? What's happening, baby? What if he got his mic on?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Turn your mic on, Jay. But anyway, Earl, it's always a pleasure
Hold on, one second.
You got your mic on, brother? We got to hear to make sure he got his mic on. Maybe he got some technical difficulties.
Hold on, 1 second. 1 second.
All right.
Oh my God.
There you go. That's my brother Jamal Mills out of Philly. Out of the great city of Philly. And I'm from North New Jersey. Like you already said, we got together about 5 years ago, and me and Jamal always had a relationship where we always was good with each other. We always watched for each other.
Bro.
You know, we always watched out for each other. But it's funny, our networks kind of match. We know the same people in the game. As I switched niches to storage units and mobile home parks, Jamar was already there doing it, so it was good to have a brother there. But this one, we was kind of both going through some stuff at the same time, and it kind of came that we just linked up better than, I ain't gonna say necessarily working apart, but just working together. You know, like one thing I'll say for Jamar, he adds to my strength. You know, I hope I add to his, but I know he adds to my strength so far as networking and follow up and having a plan. I was kind of always an off the hip kind of guy, and I planned when I needed to. But Jamar is a very systematic dude. And when you're around people like that, it kind of rubs off on you, you know, where you start picking up things that you may not ever really, you knew, but you didn't execute. So with him, he makes me really hold to my execution on stuff. I just appreciate it. I got a lot of love for that brother, man. But I'll let him take it away. Let him introduce himself, man. Go ahead, bro.
All right, Jamar, talk to us, man. We want to give you a chance to hold the mic before we get into some Q&A. Tell us a little bit about your story, brother.
Yeah, man. Come on, Jamar, get your mic, baby. Said he can't hear.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna ask you to unmute.
All right, can you hear me?
We got you, brother.
All right. Had a little technical difficulty over here on my system, but I'm back. So yeah, it's Jamar Mills. You know, I go by the solution. Yeah, and I started out 5 years ago with my brother right here. We were, a part of it. It was a big group. It was a lot of us. It really was a lot of us. he ain't get to that part. He ain't tell you that part. It was a handful of us, and we used to be on a lot of calls, and we were all brainstorming, trying to put our heads together, and just trying to get things done and figuring out how to connect with investors and sellers and see what we can do in certain markets. But when we narrowed it down, we looked up, and there was a lot of people going, just dropping off. Everybody's dropping off. giving it up, giving up, giving up.
Mm,
And it was just when we looked up, it was just Jamal and I. So we
mm,
said, you know what? We the only two left out of everybody that we were dealing with that's still in it and still working. They didn't give up. So we said, look, we might as well just put our heads together and figure this thing out together, you know. And we do it piece by piece, you know, one step at a time. You know, I believe in the game of inches, not just shooting for the touchdown, but it's how many first downs can you make the journey, the game of inches, you know, step by step, you know, and we've been doing pretty good, you know, with our game plans.
I love it. I love it. And let me say to my audience that's listening, whether you're on Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube, this is a rarity. Normally, in business, statistically, you out of business in your first 3 years. These gentlemen have been grinding for 5 years. So statistically, you out of business in your first 3 years. The chances of you being in a partnership beyond 3 years is very slim,
Yeah.
almost to none. I know personally because I was in a partnership. And so that being said, what these gentlemen have cultivated is exceptional. It is rare. So I'm very interested in gleaming from some of your insights. So if it's okay, can I dive into a few questions?
Go
Lessons.
right ahead,
Yes.
man.
All
Go
right.
right ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. So as we know, success isn't an accident, it's engineered. So take us back to the beginning. What was the defining moment that pushed you to bet on yourself?
We kind of always bet on ourselves, but like Jamar said, it was man. We I ain't gonna name them, but it was so many that we was okay. One thing, let me get to this, and I don't want to sound selfish, but it's important. When you in this, you can get caught up in the group thing. You can get caught up in getting into these groups and getting into other people's stuff, and you trying to feel your way through, especially if you ain't really got no training coming in. We had that, and we was getting big deals before we linked up. But it's like the one thing that I saw that we was quick to go check out somebody's stuff and give all our energy and put all our stuff into that, and we wasn't getting nothing out of it. You know, I my stuff with JT Fox and the founders, Jamar stuff with the people he met in mobile home parks and storage facilities. So we busy helping them, and ain't nobody helping us, right? So I think the thing that we saw was our challenge between us was better together than they were apart. Like Jamar got a certain way of doing things so far as his prospecting of his network, so far as when he hit people up, right? So it's kind of like I look at it like this really, and I you can pick what you want. It's kind of like Magic and Bird playing together. You know, it's like Magic. They both gonna do amazing things. They both got a good shot. But you know, if they got to play two other opponents, they gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying? They gonna find a way to win. I think Jamal knows. With me, I'm more razzle dazzle, so I'll get stuff to get you looking, and then he comes with such competent knowledge. I got you with the razzle dazzle, and then we hit you with the knowledge of what we're doing. And then for us, I say in the past 60 days, we've prospected with some great land people. We've got deals coming to us from all over the country. People want to work with us. Um, we can't mention his name on here, but we got a major land buyer that's willing to roll out carte blanche for us with some things that we're doing. Um, so far as being part of a community we would have had to pay to get into, but we don't have to pay to get into it because they see our hard work and what we're doing. Um, Sometimes it's lightning in the bottle. Now, that only happened to me when I got married. You know what I'm saying? It only happened to me when I got married. But so far as the partnership with this brother, you know what it is, Earl, when somebody check up on you and holler at you and say, hey man, good job, even if he's not making money with you, that goes a long way. And we've always done that. Like, hey man, I saw what you're doing over there. Good job on that. But when we linked, I say it was long overdue, but it's like we came to the realization that we work better together than apart. So we just linked it up, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. And to piggyback off Jamal, I definitely second this and everything that he stated because I remember if I could take it back, I can recall vividly the call that we were on initially to even make that decision to say, you know what, X everything out. Let's work this thing out together. You bring your strengths and I bring mine. And it definitely came from a place whereas we started to see a lot of people bringing in deals, right? A lot of people they were bringing them in, but then we had to lean on certain people, to get things across the finish line. And when I was thinking, let's just figure out a way that we can get directly to the sources and cut out 80 people in the middle, and figure that out that way. That's when it dawned on me to say, you know what, let's just bet on yourself. Let's bet on ourselves, because we don't have to, I was like, you know what, we don't have to lean on nobody. Like, we got the talent, we have the skill, we have the drive, we have the hustle individually. So we don't have to. That's definitely where that came from.
Awesome. Listen, I'm hoping that my audience is gleaming something from these two gentlemen. Success starts where belief ends. You gotta bet on yourself. And the sooner that you can get to that in the process, the more you're gonna snowball all the momentum you're generating from just the grind. So that's my next question. So every entrepreneur has a grind season. What was yours? And what did it take mentally, physically, and spiritually to break through? Jamal, I'm gonna have you start this time.
Um, for
Hold on a
us,
second.
oh, Jamar, you might go. Jamar start. You can go.
Yeah,
Jamar,
let
you take it
Jamal
away.
start.
Take it away.
Wait, hold on. What was I didn't hear that. What was that?
No problem. I talk fast. Let me slow it down. I said every entrepreneur has their grind season. What was
Mm-hmm.
yours? So what did it take mentally, emotionally, and spiritually for you to push through?
It was mainly it was mainly that definitely family, family, that's what it took. Just looking around me, everybody looking at everybody around me, and that I'm connected with, to say, everything that I'm doing is not for me. It's just, being not being selfish, uh that's what pulled everything out of me, and getting them involved too as well.
Say more. Now, tell me a little bit about your family dynamics.
Hold on, it's cutting in and out. Hold on. So as far as for my with my family, um, we have every now and then we have meetings and everything like that, and based on like business, structure, how we gonna manage money, manage our time, and do the work life balance, and I noticed that the more that I put in on the forefront, on the front end, the more that I could spend time with them on the back end. But that pushed me and drove me really to step my grind up, step my grind up, and step my grind up even more. And I have, the way that looks is, I have a daily ritual how I started off. Each day to day, and I start off with my devotionals. I start off doing my devotionals and my prayers, but I also add everything that I'm going to do throughout that day within my prayers and my devotionals, right? For starters. And then that also gets me going, like with my grind.
Real good. Real good. Thanks a lot. Jamal, take it away, brother.
For me, it was starting with manifestation, knowing I could make thoughts manifest. That was the first thing. 369 journal, a manifestation guide, things like that. But then it was really putting up or shutting up. You know what I'm saying? Just okay. First thing I did was I started mastering AI to a point where I made it a tool for me, and not just something I was playing around with. That was the first step. Was getting AI in our underwriting, getting AI for our artwork, getting AI doing our videos. So a two man team is tough because we acquisition, we disposition. So we wear a lot of hats, right? But I think the thing that make us work besides grinding out, and I always do he grinded, he always do I grinded, so that wasn't an issue for us so far as work ethic. That makes it easier when you know your partner or whoever you're dealing with. If you know their work ethic, if they're gonna put in 100 like you put in 100, sometimes 150, that nullifies the doubt and what's he doing. You don't think about them things because you know that his work ethic is there. I think Jamar always got me, but he kind of guided me on where I could put my talent. You know what I'm saying? I threw out a lot of stuff over the years, right? But the one thing I say with Jamar now, my shots are directed, my shots are targeted. If I'm throwing up a Star Wars or something like that, I'll do it with a meaning. Or if I do, so I'm doing Battlestar Galactica now, like a big thing with that. But we tie it into what we're doing. And the first thing that changed with us was if he got a post, you'll see my contact information on it. If I got a post, you'll see his contact information on it. So it's not a one-man deal. This may be a Jamal video, but it's a Jamal and Jamal thing. You know what I'm saying? That's how we approached it. So I think with us, and it's funny, our network nearly mirrors each other. Like if you go on our network, there's people that know him that know me, there's people that know me that know him, which makes it a lot easier when you're doing things. Like, we was dealing with a guy, I ain't gonna shout out his name, but I remember the call that me and Jamal was on to one of them. And we was hearing a lot of stuff and okay, the thing now that I'm seeing, and it's important, but don't get blinded with it. In real estate now, everybody's building a community. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing when it's done the right way. But you remember, everybody also has an agenda. So the communities you join, you got to understand, well, am I making money with you? Am I making money for myself? And what's my input going to be? What's my outtake going to be? And I think me and Jamal over the years have saw a lot of people that just use you for your talents, use you for your deals, chew you up and spit you out. So we wasn't really on that no more. So we made it about us. We made it about us. He has his own company. I got my own company, but still it's us. So when we come at something, we coming at it together. Like we got a great deal. Big shout to Miss Selena down there in Gainesville, Florida. We got a huge deal on the table. But Jamar works in a way where he can set stuff up. Like he made a WhatsApp group just for us to communicate. We got a seller that trusts us implicitly. We got a seller that's in our pocket. We got a deal that we don't have to do too much, but do what we already do well. You know what I'm saying? And those are the type of people you want to deal with. We was talking the other day that we want to close the deal by February, and we got some big stuff. But then a golden egg landed right in our lap. So why wouldn't we put that work on the golden egg and make ourselves better? Show the world what we're doing. Also through this podcast, show the world what we're doing, and let them know we're not playing no games, and we building us. Okay, let's put it this way: when you go to work, not knocking it, you build somebody else's dream. But in this real estate game, you got to put yourself front and center. And when you do, and you realize your talent is worth something, and your effort is worth something, you're gonna see the fruits of it come back. And like we saw the fruits come back. Remember, I was in a tough situation just in September, October, working with Jamal. I've turned everything around.
Right.
And it just goes to show that energy goes a long way when you got somebody working like you work. You can't buy that, Earl. You can't pay for that. You can't pay for that. That's a gift from God. It's a gift from God.
So here's what I'm gonna ask both of you guys to do right now. I want you to plant a seed in the spirits of my audience members. I have some audience members that are asking this question. What I'm doing right now, I was so excited in the beginning phases, but my enthusiasm is waiting. And I'm wondering, is this gonna work? And I have other people who are asking the question, how am I gonna push through? Please bless my audience with some thoughts based on your experiences.
Oh yeah,
me,
yeah,
man. Yeah, go ahead, take it, Jay. You can take it, bro. Go ahead, man.
yeah.
I've been on here before.
Yeah. I mean, you get those days. You're gonna get those. It's normal and it's natural. You're human. You're gonna get those days where you want to walk away, you want to drop off, you want to do it, but you gotta always remember why. Like, why did you even start it in the first place? You know, and you always gotta look at it from a standpoint. This is the way that as a suggestion to look at it, because a lot of people look at what do I do in a worst case scenario. I don't really look at it from a worst case scenario. I always pick up from wherever it dropped off at, that it was a discrepancy at. I always go back to the drawing board and I write it down. Okay, what could I do here? What could I do? Not try to do the same thing. Don't try to do the same thing, right? That you messed up at, that you had an error at, but find a creative way that you can get around it. You don't want to try the same thing. That's insanity. But when you create a different lane and different ways for each error that you made, for each mistake that it was, you pick up and go. Just like a GPS, it's going to reroute you, reroute. Don't go back. Just keep going. And just remember why you were in it. And things like that.
Jamal always holds me accountable on stuff like that. And I think that's the one thing is you're gonna be in a partnership, you gotta hold each other accountable first. But I think we saw between us, like, man, we we was always right at the threshold, and then something went left. We was always, trust me, me and Jamal had some monster deals throughout our years, right? But the first thing, you have to create the network and the environment to move them type of deals. If you don't have that, you got a piece of paper that worth some money that you ain't gonna get. So what we did, we cultivated the network first. I know Jamar's talent because I see how he attack everything. Like he attacks things, and like we'll be having a conversation, and I told him this. He knows this. I say, Jamal, I'm an old lineman. Just run the play, and I'll block. But I get into my lane because I'm comfortable with that. But like Jamal sees, well, Jamal got some crazy idea. He gonna do it on video. He don't question nothing I'm doing. He just let me do what I do, and then we go into it. So I think the first thing you got to do if you're going to go into a partnership, right? You got to respect each other's skills. But it's like, well, I'm good at this and he's good at no. Just respect each other's skills, period. You know what I'm saying? Don't measure it because your skills going to get better over time. The things that I've done when we first met with AI, Earl, I'm eons beyond that now. So the things that I've seen him do when he first came into the game, he eon beyond that now. So that's what you got to do. If you're going to create this type of partnership, respect each other's talent first. You can respect each other as men, women, whatever it may be, but you got to respect what that person, and I hate to use it because everybody says it's so cliche now, but it fits here. Respect what that person brings to the table, and then you bring in an equal meal. You know what I'm saying? You're not bringing lesser than or greater than. You bring in an equal meal to the table so y'all both can eat. You know what I'm saying? That's how you look at it. Don't overfill or don't underfill. Y'all feed each other where y'all both can eat so the nourishment of the business grows forward. You know what I'm saying? So you doing the same thing, he doing the same thing, then you know you're gonna make it. We got stuff now, Earl. It's God be moving, and I'm just thankful that God be moving. That from my times of trouble to now, to working with an amazing partner, just to got the stuff we on the table. It's God moves, man, and He moves quick. Change is swift. It's real swift.
Beautiful. Well, all
And
right, brothers. Go ahead, Jamal.
I think is also intentional, And when you're dealing with the piggyback of Jamal, when you're dealing with a partnership, you also got to make sure that you have the same morals, the same integrity, things like that too. If that's not in alignment, then I don't think that it will ever work in a partnership with anyone, you know. So that has to be first. That definitely has to be spirits, your morals, principles, integrity, because there's a lot of shady things that can happen. That happens in this business, and we've seen partnerships, fall apart because they didn't have those in line first. So we've been checked those boxes off first with each other.
Yeah, man, you got to get that out the way. You gotta know where each other is going, and I think when you can go the same direction with somebody, especially if you've seen their journey, he's seen my journey, I've seen his, and then like he said, there was so many people that was with us that just dropped off. It wasn't us pushing them out or nothing like that. They just was dropping off.
No.
But I think the reason they dropped off because we had evolved to a certain level. Excuse the French. We didn't need them no more. You know what I'm saying? You cool, you good over there. Best of luck in all your endeavors to quote the Godfather, but we was moving in another direction. So what you was doing didn't really vibe with what we was doing, and like that was on a solo tip before we even got together. It was just dropping off. But like when you stay in touch with a person, and if you got a network of people, watch who doing what. If you want to link with somebody, watch it. Don't have to necessarily be a partnership, but you could dig what they doing, maybe take some play if they playbook. Like Jamar has made me more organized. I was always kind of organized, but he's made me more organized because that's what he does. He got the whiteboard. He puts his stuff down. He got his program that he needs. So I started doing the same thing. And then my business became better because I got better tactics. I got better discipline. You know what I'm saying? So Jamal's a very disciplined dude. Like I want to see him get on camera a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But we gonna work on that. We gonna work on that. But yeah, man, it's I just dig what he does, bro. He digs what I do, and then you don't put chains. Like Jamal never put chains on me. Like if I want to say, okay, we talking about the I almost finished with it. I said, Jamal, I want to do the Matrix. Like he didn't say, well, what you doing the Matrix for? How you gonna? He didn't ask none of that. He's like, you want to do it, just do it. So I dig that. He just let me do what I do, and I let him do his thing, and we just work. It just works. I don't question how it works. It just works.
Thank God. I love it. All right, Level Up family. This is getting good. All right, we're about to move into phase two. Phase two. We're going to talk about strategy behind success. All right, so here's the thought. Wealth isn't created by hard work. It's created about thinking smart. So,
Yeah.
what's one business move or strategic decision that's changed the game for you?
You
I
want to
would
take that,
say,
Jay?
yeah, I take it. One decision is definitely minimizing. So not going big. Not we don't have to play. Now, when they say playing small ball, it depends on how you play the small ball. So you don't have to go large all the time. So in the business, in the space that we are in, what I realized is that I don't have to have 1,000 investors in my network, right? I don't have to. As long as I have a certain amount that's a handful of valuable investors within my network, right? That right there is what changed. Like it just dawned on me, because you can have a bunch of them, but it'll all be obsolete. 50% of your network could be obsolete,
Mm-hmm.
right? You got a handful, just a small handful, and your team, you don't even have to have a large team. So
Mm-hmm.
dawned on me with us, it's us and a handful, and we all on the same accord, and they're valuable and having valuable conversations that are intentional. They get you one step forward. That's pretty much what it is for me.
That's
I'll give you one, my
crazy.
brother. I'll give you one. Um, if you small, look big. If you small, look big, right? And the reason I say that is AI helped us do so much. We can underwrite deals in seconds now. Like I can put packages together where I can offer 4 copies of a deal, maybe a distressed, seller finance options, and maybe just a bottom line offer. So AI can make a smaller entity. I see you doing some things. I'm proud of you. I saw some stuff you were doing in AI on the Airbnb. So look, with this stuff, if you're a smaller company and you're not using AI to really push yourself to the forefront and help you do work that you couldn't get, you missing a boat, you're gonna lose. I'm big. I'm giving it to you 100. If you don't incorporate it some type of way in your business, you're gonna lose. Me and Jamar have already done contracts where we make people sign through NCNDA or NCA. You're either or. We got
Mm-hmm.
our underwriting. We can underwrite deals in seconds. We can give options. We can give analysis. So for me, it was okay. Jamar's coming with such heavy work, heavy content. I had to catch up. I had to catch up. My content has always been good, but now I had to be focused. So now my
Right.
content had to be targeted. So like when you see me do, I'll give it up. I do a lot of videos on hypernatural. If you ain't got it, download it. When I do a hypernatural video, and this is one of my smaller pages, if I put it in a group, I'll get 130 hits on that video in less than a day. You know what I'm saying? So that lets me know. It may not be 130 solid leads, but like Jamar said, if we get 4 or 5 quality leads out of
Right.
that, then it's a good
Right.
day for us. So if you're small, use AI, level up, get yourself a personal assistant through AI, make sure you can analyze deals. If you're small, you got to start getting big. So use the technology to get yourself bigger. It helps out a lot.
Use AI to analyze deals.
Yeah.
Hyper natural. All right. Hope
It's
you
all
guys are
about delegation.
listen. Team.
It's all
Hope
delegation.
y'all picking up what these brothers are laying down. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Okay.
We'll give you one. We'll give you one. Download Copilot. If you ain't download Copilot,
No
do that for
pilot.
yourself. I've combined them all. I have a system called Oasis. Jamal knows about it. It's my system, so I put them all together. Where I can go Copilot, I can go Grok, I can go Gemini, all in one time. So I can ask it 4 or 5 questions at one time, and I'm also developing my own GTP for us, which should be out probably maybe in March if I get everything I want to get. We have our own GTP just for analyzing deals on real estate. But the thing about like a Copilot is you can ask it general questions, and the more you feed it, the more you'll get. But I use it for art. I use it for a lot of stuff. So if you're small and you don't have the help, there's free help for you. So or a small fee, you got some help that you can really do some good work with. Great
Love
work
it.
with.
Yeah, it's like it could be 10. That's like 10 people. That's 10 extra people that you don't have to, utilize. So
That's
it
good.
works.
That's
I
good stuff.
mean,
All right. So here's what I'm going to ask now. Okay. So this podcast is dedicated to Black and brown people who are aspiring to get to that next level. That being said, very often we get doors closed in our face. How did you break through spaces that weren't built for you?
That's yeah. You know what? I can definitely and it's great. I can definitely attest to that because what I did was I I studied the space first. I studied the space. I studied the space before I just jumped straight into the space because you have to first learn the behavior of the individuals within the space, and then learn the language, learn certain ways about it, and then after that I began to adapt to it,
Hmm.
and I look at it another way. I looked at it was to block all of that out, right? Because some people may have that inferior in them or a complex about that, so you got to look at it as it's not personal. This is business. It's nothing personal. It's nothing that's going to be personal, and that's what you got to take in and tell yourself, because if you don't, you're just going to keep second guessing and you're going to stutter on everything that you're doing. uh,
Mm.
Now for me, getting into the mobile home park, let me give you a prominent example. You getting into the mobile home park space and RV park space, that never was a space of anybody that was black and brown at its origin. It was never. It wasn't.
Facts.
So now when you come in at then when I got into that space, I started to learn. I had to learn that the whole behavior, the whole psyche behind everything, and the personality traits and different things. And as I went on, I learned how to deal with certain people and how to execute. So that's what I would say in a nutshell. Just study it, study the individuals that are in that space, and study and learn the language before you just jump into it, and you'll get more comfortable as you go along with it.
Yeah, sure.
And this is, before I give it to Jamal, I think my audience really needs to double down on what he's saying. Do your homework. There some years ago, there was something written about if you want to keep information from a person of color, put it in a book. Well,
You have to
listen,
do your homework.
guys, you got to be willing to read. You got to be willing to dig. And ultimately, you'll earn your worth just through by your merit, by your grind, and by the quality of the product and the effort that you put forth. So, Jamal, pop it, jump in there, brother.
Yeah, for me, man, you know, I've been in big rooms, so it wasn't a problem for me really getting the chance to talk to people. And you remember kicking in the door for on TikTok? We did a lot of stuff like that. But one thing I realized, I had to turn the volume down a little bit on not so much on my personality, but everything didn't have to be so punchy in the jaw. There's certain things that I do to really catch your attention. There's certain things I get you to do that I just want you to read. I just want you to see what's going on. So I had to not change my style, but not bring it down a little bit, turn the volume down a little bit, let
You
people
you
understand.
evolve, brother.
And that's the evolution of the gorilla. See, it's also
Absolutely.
an evolution from the name Magnus Primate Holdings. Now, from Gorillapreneur Strategic Real Estate. I had to change that, and the reason being because we're gonna S corp this over here. Matter of fact, we S corp on Monday. We S corp tomorrow. So
Hmm.
it's things that we had to change to fit into the lane that we was trying to force our way into. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Okay, we've done that. We forced our way in now. Now you on the lane. What you gonna do with it? You gonna drive right? You gonna
Mm.
drive
Yes.
wrong? So now it's up for me to drive right. For us to drive right to get to the destination that we planning. But one thing that I see in a lot of us, when you kick the door down, you ain't got to keep kicking it. You don't have to. Once you through there, you understand where you are. You understand the network that you're creating or trying to create. You kind of have to adapt to it. It's more than that. It's comedy. You have to morph to it almost. You have to metamorphosize to it because you in different rooms. You meet in different people. We all people, but the communication in one room may be different than the communication in another room. So far, who you
Hmm.
speaking to? Big shout out to Wendy Donovan Prime. We talk to buyers now, not just for transactions. We talk to buyers like regular folks. You know what I'm saying? He can call Wendy. I can call Wendy. He can call Miss Elena. I can call Miss Elena and talk about the deals direct. We don't got to go through parties and jump through no hoops. And I think that's an evolution that shows people see what you're about, right? They see your work ethic. They see what you're about. And I think Miss Elena is the best example. And we just met her maybe no less than a week ago. And we got a chance to talk to her. We talked to her husband. And it's one of them calls is like a dream call because everything fell into place for us how she wants the deal handled, how she wants us to handle the deal. And I think when you get that type of carte blanche, you better not mess it up. You better not mess it up because God gonna give you certain opportunities that He want to see what you could do. So I think with me and Jamar, we come into the opportunities where the Creator want to see what we could do. Y'all been asking for this. Y'all been grinding for it. Now it's in our lap, Earl. It's in our lap. So He just want to see what we could do now.
So
You know?
good,
Yeah, the
man.
stage is set. Stage is set.
So good. I
So, you
appreciate it.
know,
I appreciate it. I'm just gonna let my audience marinate on that a little bit. All right, just because sometimes we be praying for stuff, but we ain't ready.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. My biggest saying is, while we're waiting, God's working. He's working to prepare you. You know,
Mm-hmm.
God's not going to create the overflow until you're ready to receive it. So
yeah,
personal self-development is so important.
it is.
Working
It
on
is.
is so important.
Yep. And to piggyback off what you were saying, Earl, like a lot of people may think that, I'm trying so hard and I keep failing. All of these things keep happening in life. I mean, they're not happening in life for you. Like anything, your failure is connected to somebody else's healing. It's not about you. It's not for you. That's for somebody else. That's for that young brother down there that you're gonna be able to teach and give him the roots and give him the easy path out that you didn't have to go through. That's what
Mm,
that's about. Nothing that you go through bad is about you. Somebody else. So
mm, so good, so good. All right.
And know when it's your time too, buddy. Know when it's your time because sometimes God and the universe move in certain systems, right? But when me and like the stuff that's coming across me and Jamar's table now, we know it's our time. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 3-4 years ago, you wouldn't have got the same response, you wouldn't have got the same direction. But with what we've gone through, with the people saying they this and they not that, and all the stuff that we've been through, and the groups that fall through the table, right? If you still standing, it's a reason you still standing. And after all of that, we still standing. So now, and like, don't get me wrong, and I don't want the audience to take this the wrong way, but you got to be delusionally maniacal. You have to be delusionally maniacal, but not in a bad way, where you just see, look, all I see is what I'm doing. All I see is my success. All I see is me making. I don't care what nobody talking about. And when you do that, you build up a callous to the no. You build up a callous to, or maybe next time, because I've been through that. I'm gonna get the answer that I want if I keep perfecting my craft. And right now, I think me and Jamal, we at the top of our craft right now. That's where we at.
Love it. I love it. All right. All right, brothers, with your permission, I'm going to go to segment 3. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to talk about money mindset and mastery. Let's talk about abundance. Let's talk about wealth. So, and one of my mentors is billionaire Byron Allen. And he often says that wealth is about ownership, not just about participation. So, what does
right.
ownership mean to you? And how have you structured your business for long-term control?
Go ahead, brother. You take that away.
All right. So basically, now when you talk about control, uh, right now how it's structured, it's in the process of having it set where as though you have to have the holding company, right? So holding company trusts. So that way, if I have a trust set up, then you can control it even when you're not here, right? Through generations, and things like that, of that nature.
But the one thing that we did, right, we started doing deals where we can get equity in deals. Where we got people that we work with that was Jamal, we'll cut you a piece of the deal. Where we get equity in deals now. That was different when we first came in. But knowing like I'll give you one of our buyers, like Wendy Donovan Prime, have a Wendy Donovan Prime with us. We can make moves with people because she's her own bank, she's her own creditor, and she can link us to that. Like if we wanted to do something, all we have to do is ask. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying. You don't network for the short term. Maybe with certain contexts you do. You network for the long term. So you're around people that's already done it, and that rubs off on you. Like I said, I done gone for some multifamilies up here in Jersey, up near my pops, and we're doing some things there. But like the cabins, the capsule houses from China, it's a lot of things that me and Jamar are connected to. All we have to do is ask. You know what I'm saying? I got Trust Financial, so I got financial links. Jamar has financial links. So a lot of things, we just did a deal, but last month, it could have got somebody $2 million. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he had that type of contacts and I had that type of contact, it goes a long way because you're going to build somebody else's wealth and build your own at the same time. And that's what we don't really realize. We already worry about, well, building ours, building ours, building ours. Yeah, that's all good. But when you build somebody else's and you're paid from that fruit, you can build your own. Then you do that, multiply, and then you build your own. And by the time you really rocking and rolling, now you got a portfolio. No one gets a portfolio out the gate, but you got to be connected to people that have already done it. So me and Jamal, we in that lane now, but we ain't got too much to really worry about. We just got to execute on our end. We ain't got nothing to worry about.
Sweet. Okay. Here's my follow-up question, because you kind of alluded to it, but I'm gonna ask it directly now. So we know that money moves differently when you have the right relationships. How did you learn the game of networking and leverage?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I can definitely attest to that, and that's one of my strong points. That's one of my stronger points because I don't do the AI and videos like Jamal stated. So leveraging the relationships and investor relationships is what I've learned was you don't have to have the money. Like you don't necessarily have to be, and this is one thing, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to have the money. Your equity is within your network itself. So if you got 5 people in your phone, you got 6 people in your phone, and that goes back, and it's kind of going back to one of the other questions when I said the valuable people. You got 8 valuable people in your phone, like which I do, and which Jamal do, then that could be 60 million in equity right there. That could be 50 million in equity right there. We're currently looking at something right now coming up in Ohio, right? Whereas I spoke with the guy and he's a land developer, but he wants to get into multifamily, right? But he doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the experience in multifamily, although he's in land development. The thing is, Jamal and I know some multifamily guys in Ohio. So it's nothing to leverage the multifamily guys in Ohio to meet with him so that they can make it happen. And the deal doesn't go south on him just because he doesn't have the experience. So that's an example of leveraging relationships. And which is another way to build wealth, which is another easy way out to build wealth.
Yeah. Your network is your most important thing. Like with me and Jay, I say between us, there's 20 millionaires in our network between us. Just 20 millionaires. That's just who we can talk to, who we can contact. That's not bragging. That's just true. But it wasn't always that way. You know what I'm saying? I think for me, it's a little bit different because like when I first came in, I was saw everywhere. Everybody saw me everywhere. So it was one of them things. But then when you just picking up people, you're just picking up people. You have to start venting that network and knowing who's worthwhile talking to, who's really real, who's making moves, who's a master of their craft. So for me, it was trimming down all the looky-loo people just watching me, and then really finding a good network. But what's funny, when I did that, mine and Jamal network kind of matched up. It was almost the same. Me dropping off this one, dropping off that one. And I've been on all the social media stuff, throughout the time. Now, give me a shameless plug. Please get on Fanbase, y'all. Check out Fanbase, own your own content. That's the next level for your brother right here. Please get on Fanbase, own your own content. But for me, the network came from me being a gorilla and then evolving to people talking to Jamal. That was the difference. It's like, I remember my wife had a story one time. Somebody hit her up and you said, you want to talk to my husband? Well, who's your husband? The gorilla CEO. I see him everywhere. So it was that kind of thing where people saw me everywhere. But that works 2 ways. It can work for you and it can work against you. At times it's worked for me. At times it's worked against me. But now I don't got a problem nobody calling me gorilla. I'm always gonna be the gorilla CEO. But when you pick up that phone and say, hey, can I speak to Jamal Lockhart? It's a little bit different. They're not caught up in the hype of all that other stuff. They want to talk to the person that did the content, the person that put it out there, the person that's putting the deal out there. So that's just evolution. And your network will make you evolve. I don't care what you say. Your network will make you evolve to be better when you're not stuck in the same place. So I think for me and Jamar, it made us way better. It made us way better so far as what we do.
Excellent stuff, man. Man, I hope my audience is picking up the stuff that y'all dropping down, man. This is real good stuff. Telling you. Oh my goodness. All right. So we're almost ready to land this plane. We ain't there yet. We're taxiing, we're hovering. All
All
right.
right.
So here's my next as we go into phase 4 here, segment 4. All right. If you had to start over with nothing but your knowledge and your experience, what would be your first 3 moves?
Can I take this one, Jay? Can I take this one?
You taking it out? Go ahead, go ahead.
It's gonna be quick on my end.
Be quick too. But go ahead.
Watch the groups. Don't link up with a bunch of groups, man. You know, it's lovely to have that community, but get yourself squared away first. Learn your lessons, get your goals down, write your things down, whether it's a journal, just a notebook, write your plans down, you know, fail to plan, plan to fail, that type of stuff. But for me myself, don't get involved in a bunch of things where you're giving your talent away. One, for free. Anything you're good at, you should get paid for. That's first. I don't care if it's making a video, writing copy, whatever it is. If you do something well, get paid for it. And if you are in a group, make sure it's a group that's going to elevate you to be better than yourself. A lot of these groups elevate one person or one entity or one idea. We got caught up in that in the beginning. Plant your own flag first. If that's the Joe flag, the Bob flag, the Jane flag, the Timothy flag, whatever flag it is, plant your own flag first. Build your name up, build your reputation up, build your business up, even if it's small. So that way you know I'm coming in on this is what I'm coming in on. This is what I'm standing on. When you get in all of these groups and stuff, you kind of lose your focus because you want to build somebody else's stuff. What I can do there is in mine too. No, you can't. You can't. You have to build your base of operation, your empire first, then worry about all that other stuff later. But build your. If I could make mistakes I've made in the past, one, I wouldn't give my talents away for free, and two, I'll be self first. I'll be self first all day. That's
Mm,
just my. And I don't think that's a selfish way because God wants us to be our best self. So if you're focusing on yourself and getting your stuff right, you're gonna spread that to other entities. You're gonna spread that to people you want to work with. You're gonna spread that to people that's watching you or admiring you. Get yourself together first. That's my
okay.
lesson.
Okay. All right. What would be your first 3 moves, Jamar?
My first 3 rules.
Oh, your first 3
Yeah,
moves.
my first move.
Oh, first 3 moves, pay
My
yourself
first
first.
move. My first move.
Pay
Hold on,
yourself.
hold on,
Yeah.
Jamar. Jamal, you done or you have some more?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Okay.
Mark, take it.
Yeah, my first 3 moves would be one, get knowledge on the space that I'm going in, right? As I'm get earn while you learn though, not just study just to be studying and wasting your time, just studying. Because I did that already. So I wouldn't do that. So I would get with someone that is very credible, one to two people that is very credible in the space that I'm looking into, getting into, right? And then leverage them. That's step 2. I would leverage them to move forward and seek knowledge and things like that. Now, 3 would be vet everyone out. Also, vet everyone. That's last but not least. Vet everyone out that you're working with, because uh, again, it's a business where it can be a shark eat shark game, and they can see you coming, especially when you're green, starting out with those 3 things. So you definitely want to vet them out and have your paperwork all in order, because the best handshake is in black and white,
Oh my goodness.
even when you start.
I gotta write that one down. The best handshake is in black and white.
Black and white.
Woo! Okay. I love it. I love it. All right. Gentlemen, we're ready to land the plane. Here's my wonder. Okay. If you can elevate our audience now, okay. So success leaves clues. What's one book, one habit, or one mentor that changed the way you thought about person, business, and community or community?
Um, for me, books. We all know the books. We all know the books. I would say one is definitely the 4 Hour Work Week, to get your mind wrapped around quality time and quality work. That you can work 8 hours and don't nothing get done. So you need to have a time frame. That's one. A 4 Hour Work Week is one. But for me, it was mindset, definite mindset. Even when the times is tough, you gotta have a mindset. Just like I said, delusionally maniacal that you're gonna make it no matter what. You know that you gotta have that. And for me, understand. And I'm an old fighter, right? So my thing is getting punched in the jaw hurts. But in this business life, in this entrepreneur, you're gonna get punched in the jaw more than once, and it hurts. And then your mind starts to play with you. Can I do this? Can I not do this? All this type of stuff you experience, right? But I think the best way to know how to do it is just to understand you in it to win it. You're not gonna quit. If you got a good support system, now we both got great wives, Jamal, his wife Portia, my wife Stephanie, you, your wife Earl. You know, we got great support systems, but some of these guys may not have that. So find a support system, no matter how it is, that got your back when things ain't the greatest. Because everybody loves you when things is great. You find out
Mm-hmm.
who you support is as you, Earl, because brother, salute, you helped me in the time when I was in my dark. So you know who you dealing with. Really know who you dealing with. The people that's in your corner, the people that you can call and say, hey man, you know, what I gotta do to straighten this out, or anything that you can give me that makes send me in the right direction or the right course of action. Have a good network where you can really talk to people and set yourself straight. But mindset, 4 hour work week, be maniacally delusional. That's my three.
Love it. Love it. What about you, Jamar?
I would say one of them is called Who Not How by author named Dan
Dr.
Sullivan.
Berry. Yep, yep.
And again, that goes back to what we spoke about when it comes to leveraging, when it comes to leveraging your network, when it comes to leveraging your resources. What I learned about that is it's not what you know, it's not what you know, and it's not what you have. It's all in who you know and how you could connect the dots and who you know, and how many people that you do know, you know, to create something out of it. So that's definitely a good book that you know I recommend. I recommend just for that. Uh, Another one is called The Go Giver. It's called The Go Giver. So then you got The Go Giver. One is The Go Giver, and then they got one called The Go Giver. I think it's The Go Giver Marriage. It's one for couples too. But then you have the Go Giver, you know, and that just shows you the art of giving and pouring into people, you know, because it's not you, you know, it's all in the more you give, and by default, you're going to receive what you're going to do anyway, you know, the more you look out for the people.
I love
And
it.
then
All right,
the
gentlemen, this has
other
been.
one,
You got more? Okay, beautiful. Yes, keep it going, brother.
I just had one more. Seven habits of highly effective people. That's the last one.
Love it.
And give them this one, when you're reading the books, just don't read them. You got to execute with them too. You got to take notes. You know, we can
You
spit
have
the
to.
book all day, but if you're not really going to read them, study them, build a curriculum for yourself with the books and what the books entail, you're not going. It's not going to work for you. You just can't read them and oh now you got it soaked in. Those are things that you
No,
execute with. You have to
no,
execute on it. Like
no.
and we talked about this on the Earl's last podcast. I'll give you one. Discipline is from Mike Tyson. Discipline is doing something you hate like you love it. Whether it's running, exercising, eating right, whatever it is in the business world, doing your analysis, doing your callback, doing your follow up, whatever you do, if you hate doing it, you got to do it like you love it. That's the only way to be successful. So this takes more discipline than a lot of people think it do. And you're gonna have rough days. You're gonna have days where you don't want to keep going, but tell yourself you're gonna make it
Yeah.
anyway. Get up
And
when you
let me.
don't want it.
I want to.
You don't want to call. You know.
Exactly. And let me make it easy. I can make it even easier. So let's just say, for an example, right? I got this devotional book that I do every morning, right? When I read one phrase of whatever the action is telling you, whether it's saying be kind to others or whatever, right? What I do after that, I write down a reflection on it. Then I write down the action on it. Then I write down the action steps on what I'm gonna do today, and I put a time frame on it, so that way I got the time to this time to do it. Because if it ain't written down, that's how you can take the action on it. You ain't gotta wait for the action to come to you for you to do it. You wrote it down on how you're gonna do the action, right? Write the word action and write the action steps, and you just do it like that, based off of what you reflect on. So it works. It
So
works.
manifestation in your head, y'all. Get so I got one. I'm going down the street. I am so happy and grateful that money flows to me from numerous sources on a continuous basis. Understand, say things that generate your energy to the universe so the energy can come back to you. And a lot of people, I would have never met Jamar if it wasn't energy. That was 5 years ago, and the energy still just grew to what it is now.
Yeah,
Earl, almost 5 years ago.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So this is just all 3 years, the same time frame of 5 years after the pandemic. During the pandemic, rather. So you get all I
yeah, it
want you
was. Yeah, yeah.
this is our energy here coming together. This is our energy to put our stuff for you so you can learn a couple of things. If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. It's on you, right? But what I'm saying is energy creates all things. Positivity creates all things. Like-mindedness creates all things. And if you
Mm-hmm.
don't, it's right in your face. It's right here. You know what I'm saying? We're telling you not from just to have something to say. We're telling you from experience. You guys can do it too, but you got to want it. And if you don't want it, somebody else going to want it more than you. That's just what it is.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, we're
Absolutely.
ready to land the plane. This is the final question for the hour, and it's all about call to action. So, when our closing question, our level up call to action goes as follows. All right. So, this is the Level Up podcast. We don't just talk about success, we execute. If someone is listening right now, inspired, ready to move, but they don't know where to start, what's the first step they need to take today to change their life? Go for it, Jamal.
Do it anyway. If you don't know what you're doing, do it anyway. And the reason I say that is because you're going to fail, but you'll understand your failure if you watch it. Do it anyway. It's a lot of things that when I first came in, Earl knows my story. My first contract came from Jerry Norton. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but I understood an assignment contract. Do it anyway. Study up on it. You got AI, you got Google, you got YouTube. You can literally build your own curriculum on a lot of stuff. So if you don't know how to do it, get the basics of it. Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Some are free, some are not, but whatever works for you. Um, just do it. Do it anyway. It's like you may not have everything down. Try to amass as much knowledge as you can, and then do it anyway. Because the reason being, if you make it, man, God shined on you. If you didn't make it, God gonna shine on you anyway, because it's gonna teach you lessons of what you do right the next time. So if you just start and you don't know where to start, just start. Just do it. Take notes on what you did right. Take notes on what you did wrong. Just start. You never regret having a first start, ever, ever.
Facts. Facts.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I believe in that. It don't gotta look pretty. It don't gotta look pretty. A win is a win. And you gotta count even your small steps. The journey is all about the journey. So it don't gotta look cute. It don't gotta look pretty because everybody didn't look pretty in the beginning. Nobody did. I remember, and this is something that helped them out too. I remember when I first started cold call, I was calling investors up that's worth millions of dollars. I didn't know, always what to say and what to do and how to do, but they got it based on their response, and them not, responding back to me or ghosting me or, telling me, okay, I'll get with you in a second. I went back to the drawing board. What was it that I said? What can I say to will them in? How can I do this? And then it started to work. So it's never going to look pretty. You're going to start shooting your jump shots first, you're going to miss. You're going to start making them the more you do it. And if you don't never, if you waste your time on that, if you waste your time trying to get pretty, trying to look pretty and want it to be neat and all of that, it'll never happen. You're going to regret it.
Start.
That's
Start.
the biggest price. That's your biggest price. Biggest price you're going to pay is that regret for not even starting at all. If you waited to look pretty.
Yep.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it, guys. You guys have blessed my audience in multiple ways. Again, when I value my network, Jamal is right up there. And now I'm blessed because Jamal has introduced me to you, Jamar. So believe it, we're gonna circle back and we're gonna do this again in about 7-8 months. So we're gonna report out on what y'all
Oh,
doing.
absolutely.
Okay?
We be talking about some big figures then.
Absolutely.
At the perfect
All
time.
right, I love it.
Oh,
I
we should
love
be.
it.
Talking about some big figures.
We gonna have something. Definitely gonna have something by then. We gonna have something
You see
to
the
tell
smell
you.
of the energy, man. What we talking is straight truth, man. And thanks for having us on. We appreciate you, man. To the whole audience, to the whole real relief consultant audience, hang with this brother. He's doing some amazing things. He ain't gonna steal you wrong or nothing. Neither will we. And if we ain't hard to find. We ain't hard to find.
All right. But listen, all right.
No,
we gonna circle back to you brothers on Q4 to see what you've done over the last 3 quarters. And as always, be blessed, but more importantly, be a blessing. Take care, guys.
That's what's up. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.